Epupa Opuo, or Opuo rather, Epupa Road, is quite a very important road, which has been identified by government and also by the Roads Authority already 3-4 years back. It was included in our strategic plan, and therefore we appointed a consultant to do the detailed design. And last year, 2023, the Minister of Finance and Public Enterprise approved through the approval of the RFA business plan, also for RFA to secure funds to ensure the construction of the Opuo Epupa Road. In fact, it extends also from Okangwati going up to the binational hydropower project we call BENZ. Now, with that approval, we then engaged in the commencement of this project. RFA availed funds for us to commence with the project. In the meantime, we have also approached, submitted what we call a PIF to the Minister of Finance as well as National Planning for government to make budgetary provision in the towards this project for the next financial year or the subsequent financial, depending on how much RFA can fund. So to say the project we have overcommitted government, in my view, it's not absolutely it's not correct. So the project is an important one, and government wants us to create that and provide that services to the people of the Kunene region. Yes.
Okay, so it's clear now from your explanation, Dr. Lutombi, that the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises did its part. Was the Minister of Works and Transport your direct ministry? Did it need also to approve, and did it do that, or you only got approval from the Finance Ministry?
Look, we have there. When a project is funded by government, when we complete this the PIF form, we get the approval. First, we discuss internally with the Ministry of Works and Transport, and in this case, in particular, the Minister of Transport was aware, and we even formed part of the steering committee of the BENZ project, of which the road was part of that, as well as the transmission line, which falls under the NAMPower. But last year, because of the issue that we had budgetary constraints, and we did not make budgetary provision from the ministry, through the Ministry of Works and Transport. However, that budgetary provision was made through Road Fund Administration. Now that we are moving forward, we have submitted already a PIF, and I'm very sure that it will be approved, because we have had engagement with the National Planning and even Minister of Finance. They support the project. So once that is approved, then part of the funding will be coming from government. But as we are now, the funding to commence the project will be from the Road Fund Administration.
Okay.
Yes, but the ministry, our ministry, is well informed about this, and we have the full support for us to continue with the project.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, maybe just on that issue of transparency and the laws that guide these things, internally in Roads Authority itself, How much influence does the accounting officer, which is Mr. Lutombi in this case, have in the processes where that particular contract falls within your threshold of 30 million? From where does it go? Which committees before? What role do you play in something like that?
Yes, in fact, to be very honest, the way the law is, I consider, well, I don't know other institutions, but I see that the role of an accounting officer basically is like rubber stamping. Because why I'm saying so is that you have the Public Procurement Act created a public institution to establish the bidding evaluation committee. And the law is very clear that not even the accounting officer or any person must tamper with the report of the bid evaluation committee. Once the bid evaluation committee has finalized the process, that report is then submitted to the procurement committee. It has its own chair. The procurement committee will agree or recommend or not recommend. Yeah. When it comes to the accounting officer, you must have reasons if the procurement committee or the bid evaluation committee have produced the report, evaluated, everything is transparent, fair, you must really have good reason to say, I don't agree with this report. Or you must have good reason to say, I cannot approve. But you cannot change anything. You cannot bring new things which you hear where you can't. You have to rely on the process. Was the process done in compliance to the act? If it was not, there was some non-compliance issue, that's where the accounting officer will say, no, I cannot approve because there is a non-compliance issue here. But otherwise, it's really very difficult to challenge that process. Yes, so that is what the role. But unfortunately, you know, as a person who finally approves, you take the full responsibility of the process. So you cannot now say, no, it was. And as a person or as a person in charge of the organization, it means if your bid evaluation committee is not doing what it's supposed to do, and the procurement committee is not doing what's supposed to do, and all this process is done through the procurement management office, it's still your responsibility as an accounting officer, because you must ensure that all these structures do what they're supposed to do.
Okay, absolutely.
Yes.
Issue of the mushrooming of informal settlements. Of course, it's a phenomenon in most of the towns. When you drive through, you see that the Nokanja is no exception. How are you dealing with it? I know housing is a problem across the country, but what is the Nokanja municipality doing to address that matter?
Yeah, as we speak right now, we are 95% to complete our plan that we have. I remember in 2021 we signed a memorandum of understanding with NAST, Sheikh Dewas Federations, and other different stakeholders in order for them to assist us. For the past 2 years, we have NAST students together with our officials on the ground to make sure that they have mapped out, they have find out how many shacks do we have in Okahanja, how can we divide them, where we can put the roads and demarcatings and all those processes. So last week, I was not part of the meeting, but I was informed by the mayor that they were briefed well, and the community themselves were part and parcel of that initiatives. The reason being that we don't want to involve us councillors because we don't know who stays in these shacks, who stays in these shacks, but we want the community to be able to be part and parcel of that process. As we speak now, we are 95% to complete. whereby everybody will be able now to have his or her own earth on his names. Then, because we ask them, what is so important? Do you want water? Do you want electricity? Or do you want earth? Because it's not going to be assisting you to have electricity on the earth which is not yours. It's not going to be helpful for you to have water which is at a place which is not yours.
Yeah.
So it's better for you to have land on your name. Then these other processes, they can come at a later stage. So we are moving toward to complete that. We believe before we hand over to the next team that comes in 2025, November, December, I think we will be having a legacy that will leave behind and say this is what we did and we're proud of what we have done.
Yeah. We do know that most of the times when authorities are busy with the process of formalization, as you are busy here, somewhere else, something else is coming up again. How are you dealing with it, and what are you doing to prevent such occurrences?
You are correct. You are correct. This happens. It happens also in our town, but we have our very active officials that are being always on the ground. They know which was the last sharks. So whoever comes, then they need to be removed immediately. I think that is the only way we can stop people not to get land on their own. But again, as I said, human beings are just human beings. But we believe that we didn't encounter so far the additional shakes. We are now dealing with those ones that have been there before we commence with the process. So it's situation under control.
Yeah. There's also been concern, especially with the development of the new road on the outskirts of the town, where some feel that maybe this town might jeopardize the economic activity in the town. How is council dealing with it? Is it a concern for you guys, or is it? Are you guys fine with it?
No, it's a quite concern, but we have already embarked on the process of to capture the situation. So what we are doing now, we are in the process of acquiring a different service station on the other side. We are also in the process of acquiring someone to put for us a mall on the other side, as well as these tourist people to be spirited from this side, so we move the other one on the other, so that we can make sure that everybody that lives Okahanja, at least he can live $2 or $5 in our town, really, because otherwise Okahanja will die. But as we are saying, we have capable leaders. The mayor, I believe, might be the very youngest mayor in the town. The deputy mayor, who is speaking equally, also might be one of the youngest one. And we are very capable, we are very serious. That situation is under control. We know there will be a lot of development that side to make sure that no tourists, no individuals will leave Okahanja without leaving a 50 cent or $1 in our town in 2 or to 5 years to come.
I think the other issue around that matter is also the issue of unemployment in the town, especially the young people. What sort of programs does the municipality have in place to really address that concerning topic of youth unemployment?
Yes, youth unemployment is a second COVID-19, I think, in the country, not only particularly in Okahanja. But as I said earlier, we are very serious with every challenges in our town. Job creations is topping our list. I said earlier to you that we are having the construction of the fire stations, which is already ongoing, and we have 2 hospitals that will be built. I believe very soon we'll be we'll have the breaking ceremonies. These are job creations that we are talking about. We have a new farm that converted to chicken productions. I have been informed that they have recruited plus minus 60 people already that are busy working. The Beef Corps is expanding their productions because the demand is high. So, and we have a lot of initiatives that are going in. We believe that with this kind of initiative that comes in, more young people will be recruited. Lily, we were having the Mayoral Cup this weekend. I think you have guys heard about it, and you perhaps maybe have someone who was there just to give you a report. But we are very serious. So we believe that in 2 to 3 years, Okahanja will be a place to be.
Yeah. What are some of the governance challenges that you and your team have faced since assuming office?
We honestly, I think we have a problem of, remember, we are only working with one Bible in Okahanja, and not in Okahanja, but the whole country. We are using what we call Local Authority Act. Local Authority Act is everything that you want to do is quite there. How to start it and how to finish it. And almost whatever you are doing, whether it's decision making, whatever you are doing with the local authority, is prior to the approval from the line minister. That is a concern to us, and we don't know how we address it, because even if you make a decision today, the Minister of Urban Rural Development, one individual person, have to make a decision. Remember, we have 57 towns in Namibia, and all of them, they have to send their decisions to Minister of Urban Rural Development. Yeah. This will take plus minus, if it's come early, take 3 years for approval to be guaranteed to you. Yeah. The only thing that I came across to be approved in a day or two is when you appoint the CEO. Yeah. Other than that, you have to wait for 5 years, we have to wait for 3 years, and that's a concern to us. Because even if you have somebody who is having 10 million today, want to build a very good stadium in your town, this person will give up and say, no, you are not giving me a feedback, because nobody want to wait for 5 years. Yeah. This person will move somewhere. That is a concern related to us, I think, for the whole country, and we are not going to shy away to say this in front of the camera or whatsoever. Yeah. It's a situation that we are going through in local authority.
Women were there. Then mainly when SWAPO party was formed, women were part of the leadership. So what we are saying is that SWAPO party is leading, influencing also other political parties to realize that women need to be in a bigger positions of leadership.
Yeah. But what do you think, why did it take us so long to realize this?
I really don't understand your question, because you need to compare the other political parties comparing to SWAPO party. How old is SWAPO party? SWAPO party all along have been having women leading, but other political parties, majorities just started. So, and this is their time to have women in leadership. So all what I'm saying is women also in Namibia realize that they need to be in position of leadership, and they need to sit at the table where major decisions are being made.
Talk to us a bit about the 50-50, the gender policy that the party introduced a few years ago. It was very controversial at the time, of course, where some people felt that this is a tool to wheelbarrow women into positions instead of really looking for giving the women the opportunity to fight their way up the ladder of power. Do you think that it has bore the fruits over the years?
Let me tell you one secret which I just realized these days. I have been reading the history of SWAPO party, especially women leaders, and I observed that in the year 1974, Comrade Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah already made a statement saying that women need to be put at the place where they're supposed to be. She already then indicated that we need to have women, and also she mentioned we need to have equal representation of both male and female in leadership. And also His Excellency, the founding president, Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, already during the Congress of SWAPO Party Women's Council, the first Congress in 1980, he mentioned his desire to have more women in leadership. So the controversial of the 50-50 equal representation came to those who did not understand it, and it was made controversial to those who were not willing for it to be implemented.
Yeah, but why would someone not be in support of such a move, especially if you're a party member?
I think we need to look at the way how a man and woman is created. Just look at the young kids playing. You will realize that the small boy will always want to beat the young or the older girls. So maybe in nature there is something inborn which made men to always think that they are superior to women.
As the Swapo Party Women's Council, are you happy with the status quo of women representation within the party?
I am very happy for the question because you are just testifying that up until now you are not convinced that the 50-50 in Swapo Party is going to work and it is bearing fruit.
Yeah.
I am very happy, more specifically, that it will be for the first time when Namibia will be led by a female president. And I am very happy, more specifically, that it is for the first time that Swapo Party is putting up a female presidential candidate. Of course, as a Swapo Party Women's Council Secretary, and this institution is aimed to uplift women, I am definitely happy.
Yeah. Of course, those parties who've already launched their manifestos have dedicated quite a sizable amount of attention to the issue of women's representation and gender balancing. Away from the political sphere, from a society point of view, do you think it's spilling over from the politics into society in general as far as women empowerment is concerned?
Thank you very much. Let us start this way. For a person to be fully developed, you must be developed, or you must develop yourself in 5 spheres. So now I'm going to respond to your question in this manner. The traditional one, the culture one, have been already putting women at the forefront. I do not want to mention here, but you know very well the queens who are leading various traditional authorities and those who have been doing so. Currently, religious-wise, we observe the first ever female bishop elected. So you can already see that the trend has been there. And I do not want to mention the economic. So many women have been leading in business. So maybe one can just say that it has been long overdue for politics to have a female at the level of a president. But other spheres of life have been doing it properly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So politics has been left behind.
Not really per se, but at the level of a leader or the head of state. Yeah.
What is the situation like within the top structures of the Women's Council, the composition thereof, as far as young people are concerned? Say, for instance, the top 5 of the council.
Yeah, that one also, it is one of the concerns raised, and I want to believe that it came up in this manner because for you to become a central committee member of Swapo Party Women's Council, you need to serve at least for 5 years. So with a lot of young women not understanding or maybe not wanted to join Swapo Party Women's Council, that also made the top structure of Swapo Party Women's Council to have mainly matured women, but not really young women per se. However, I must also testify that we have a number, although not big, of young women. But allow me to use the opportunity to say young women of Namibia who believe in the aims and objectives of Swapo Party, please feel free, and you are the one to become a member of Swapo Party Women's Council, because like the theme of Swapo Party is saying for the elections, unity in diversity, natural resources beneficiation, and youth empowerment for sustainable development. So now, if Swapo Party Women's Council does not have young women, then the future will never be sustainable, because if you don't have a young crop, then your future will not be good, because you need to have young people who will have the institutional memory of the council, and then these will be the people to carry on with the council.
Yes. Just as we wrap up, would you say the party as a whole is evolving with time, not just politically, but also from a socio-economic point of view? Would you say the party is in touch with the reality on the ground?
Me, I don't understand the question, because SWAPO Party has been providing quality services since 1990. I'm referring now to inside the country. And for the past 34 years, it has been SWAPO who have been doing all those. And that's why we are asking for the mandate to be given another chance to continue ruling. So now if you ask if SWAPO Party has been in touch with the reality on the ground, I really don't understand, because even for you to be here, it is because there is peace which was brought here by SWAPO Party. You will never sit at this side of town, and also in this company. I think we must be honest with ourselves and with the reality on the ground. It is us who don't want, like in your case, who are asking such a question. These are the same people who do not even want to see what is that being done by SWAPO Party. But you ask it just for the sake of asking. I can just answer to say, yes, SWAPO Party is seeing what is happening and is in touch with the reality on the ground.